Well, today I wanted to talk about regret. Not that earth-shattering, my life could have gone a completely different direction kind of regret. I want to talk about those would've, should've, could'ves that we start to think a little bit more about as we get closer to our golden years. Well, hi, I'm Laura and welcome to the channel. And today I'm out in the park again. This is a community park, and so if I get a chance, there's a fabulous historic cemetery up here around the corner, and maybe we can take a sneak peek. It dates back to the early 1800s. So what do I mean using such a big word as regret? Yes, we all have regrets in our life. When we get to this age, we start thinking about them, and we can list a few of them. But we're all on different paths, right? And we all have come to so many forks in the road over the course of our life. And we made decisions at the time based on a reasonable kind of pluses and minuses. We used our decision-making process, whatever was working for us at the time, and we had different things going on in our life. I mean, I really can't compare the amount of free time I have right now to when I was even in my 40s. Honestly, even in my 50s. My youngest didn't go to college until I was, oh my gosh, I think I was 60? Yeah, so I had other priorities. So what was reasonable to me 20 years ago, what would have been worth the gamble today wasn't necessarily worth the gamble back then. But what I've come to learn is that so much of our regret, those woulda, coulda, shouldas, really come down to self-confidence, self-esteem. Again, what was a reasonable decision for us at the time? What fit into our lifetime? What other things were pulling us? Children, family, husband, job. We had other things going on that we maybe don't feel the same amount of pressure from today. But I would like to be a younger self with all of this free time because, yeah, I would do things a lot differently. My kids are off taking care of themselves. They really don't need me too much anymore. So how do we stop ourselves from being hard on ourselves when it comes to regrets or things that we wish had turned out differently? For me, I think it's the decision to keep reaching for big things. You know, two of the women that I admire the most, one is in her 80s and one is in her late 70s, and they're kind of my local idols. They are everywhere doing everything, mostly philanthropy, volunteer, but they just continue to find causes that they care about. Now, I was listening to a podcast the other day, and they were talking about passion. Finding your passion. I haven't always been a big proponent of that because I think we as women often like to do a lot of different things, but little things, small bites, because we don't have the time and the energy to take on the big projects. Our schedule doesn't always allow, or didn't always allow when we were younger. So now we're at an age where if you have your health and you can get out of the house, but honestly, I think you can do a lot of things from your house too, because organizations always need volunteers. And sometimes that volunteering is sending out those text messages that we all get too many of, or calling people, or scheduling events, doing graphics, helping do the creative, putting together volunteers for an event. There are lots of things that we can still contribute no matter what our age. And volunteer organizations especially, whether it's your local library, whether it's a rec center, a senior center, whether it's some kind of a local philanthropy, they're always in need of people. So often we have to come to that fork in the road and say, well, I no longer have maybe the stamina or the ability or even the desire to go back and rewrite history and do X, Y, or Z that I wish I had done when I was in my 40s, but you know what? Time just didn't allow. Give yourself a break. Pivot. Look for things that will fulfill you now, but will fit into your lifestyle. We can all go back and rewrite history, right? But I wouldn't have ended up where I am today, and you wouldn't have ended up where you are today if you hadn't made the decisions that you chose to make along your own journey. And so here we go. We're gonna end up at the cemetery. I don't know what, I'm not trying to send any subliminal message by ending up in a cemetery. Actually, my community does a historical cemetery night once a year, and members of the community dress up in character, and we research the folks that were buried in the different cemeteries in the area. And all of the residents come and listen to the tales from the 1800s. And I've done that several years in a row. We do it at night. We all hold candles. And again, I'm reminded of all the things we have done along the way, the contributions that we've made, the people that we've helped, the people that we've mentored, the jobs that we have done and done well. And I think if you look at your future with that same mental energy, or maybe the mental energy you didn't have when you were 40, you had the physical energy. Now you've got the mental energy, but maybe not the physical energy. But I think there's still a lot of time. Time is on our side to do the things that we want to do. They may look a little different than they would have, 20 or 30 years ago. But keep looking for what fills you up and surround yourself with people that make you feel good about yourself, because the more positivity you have around you, quite honestly, you'll realize that the sky is still the limit. And whatever you're willing to put 100% into is going to give you great rewards in return. So let's not talk about regrets. And I think hopefully you can see a little bit of this. I'm on the path. I want to be careful and be courteous. We have a nice little grass path. Actually, during parts of the year, this cemetery is full of bluebonnets. So it's actually a pretty incredible place. My phone is set on tracking, so I don't think it's going to let you. I'll try to hold it up and see if we can see over my shoulder. But maybe I'll get out here one day and do a video. Thanks for stopping by. I hope you'll subscribe to the channel, and I look forward to seeing you next time. And let's get rid of those regrets and let's keep looking toward the future. Take care. Bye-bye.